It is 5:55. I just clicked over 5:56. Beloved soul family, bringers of change, and all of the amazing human beings that are choosing sovereignty for the human race. Welcome to this transmission. And for some interesting perspectives and insights in the awareness that I need to complete this transmission within a half an hour slot to continue on with my individual one-on-one clients. And I am coming to you with some beautiful awareness of some very profound transformation that is taking place, things that have been hidden from my own consciousness because of how it interweaves with my own being, and has opened up a possibility for the forefront of the future to look quite significantly different. And I'm super excited to share that with you and why it's important. And I know that many of you have the spiritual belief system that we're not looking for a savior and it's all about the inner work, etc., etc., etc. And I also agree with that, and I also recognize that it is not one lens of polarization, and there are some individual beings that are here guiding the way and showing us through the lens of the mirror of who we are in a deeper sense of consciousness and self-realization. And so this is about those specific men and their role for the bringers of change and for the human race. There are 12 specific men. Ooh, that scared me. Hold up. We have a tech difficulty. Well, I don't think it's a tech difficulty. I think it's more of a someone's getting my attention kind of moment. So hang on, let's just adjust the lighting because it's a little bright on mine. So, there we go. All right. Okay. There are 12 men that are incarnated on the earth with a very special strand of DNA. They have a signature of the 199, so you often hear me talk about the 144 and beyond. The 144 is a DNA mutation that's been placed inside the human vessel for beings like you and I to incarnate into the physical form of this experience. And the 144 have a higher evolved expression of consciousness that can bring in frequencies, technologies from parallel universes, different galaxies, star systems, star seeds. They are a more evolved expression coming here to bring what they have from their original time-space continuum into this incarnation to assist the Earth's shift, which we are currently in. And I will make a note at 6:02 my time, which is in exactly 3 minutes, so it will be interesting to see if we can feel this. The Earth's chakra system for the solar plexus is going to start to make its rotation back so that it can find its new locational point. Now, some of you may not know, the reason that I chose to be in Bali is not only for the purification of my vessel being connected directly to Hinduism consciousness, but for the land that it is one of the original landing points of the Anunnaki and Sumerian beings, and it was directly connected to Lemuria. And so there is many reasons as to why I'm here at this time, but also that Bali will no longer be the purification center for the earth. It is actually the new location for the solar plexus chakra. So it will be the new power center. So I'm here specifically for many reasons. There are different junction points, and I'm doing land work and grid work. And so this rotation of this chakra is out near the before the Fiji Islands out in the ocean, and it is going to start at 6:02 to rotate and start to make its new direction. Now when it does that, it's going to send an electromagnetic pulse through the grid lines, which is going to create the shift in the platelets up near the Torres Strait Islands below Papua New Guinea, and that's where there is going to be the water movement. If you didn't watch that prophetic vision, it was a challenging one to receive, but there will be a shift in the platelets, and then over the next 12 to it's changed the next 12 to 36 hours, there will be the wave formations that have been discussed in that prophetic vision that will be affecting the Philippines. So I'm still holding that this is on our current timeline. I am aware that things can transform drastically and quickly in the amount of energy and just went 6:02. Okay, coming back. So that was interesting. Not at all surprised that that came through in my body as a confirmation, because I have, as any human being, been a little weary and concerned that what I'm speaking out to the world is not truth and reality, and I do not desire to speak distortion. I do not desire to speak chaos or any aspects of confusion into the experience. I have been lost in delusion and distortion for multiple incarnations, and I am so devoted to Source Creator that I required to and I have some elements of proof show up for me in the last 24 hours that I needed to see to continue to do this work, because what I'm speaking into has not manifested yet, and I have been speaking it into these aspects of the transition of the poles flipping for the last few months. And so there's a part of my human being that's like, well, it's not here, and timelines change, and you still keep getting, maybe you're delusional, maybe you're sending everyone on the delusional path. Now, that was the unlocking of a deeper sense of reclaiming aspects of my consciousness that had been lost, and this is where the 199 come in. So I have been being prepared for my divine counterpart to be a walk-in. Can I speak this? Oh, okay. That was exciting. So the walk-in that is going to be coming into the vessel of this individual being is the energy of Thoth Hermes. So Thoth Hermes has not been on the earth. If you feel into the quantum field, you might feel him in this dimension now. He is here. He's been here for a couple of days, and he is making the transition and the activation into the physical body of an individual being that has the 199 DNA strand. Now, these 12 men are the original Anunnaki. They are the original creator beings of the earth, and they hold this specific DNA strand signature because they are what would be considered two-spirited, and these two-spirited beings come with two very evolved consciousness. So they're more evolved than that which I am, and I am in devotion to them when they come into the purification, and that is a part of my mission. But these beings have two spirits that are a very strong consciousnesses with multiple layers of information. So when you have like a dual souls and cosmic missions, you have multiple layers of information. You might be really in tune with the architecture of the universe and building the pyramids, and then you might also have this level of awareness with the sacred wisdoms and the teachings of the law of one, or of an ability to be a specific healer, right? So two very different energy signatures that are held within these vessels of these 12 men that are incarnated on the earth. Now, what this looks like for them through their experience is there's been a sense of two-sidedness, being a split personality, having bipolar tendencies, tethering between light and dark. There is a sense of having a really broad range of information and knowing, but a challenge of actually being able to stay stable within the experience. The reasoning that the two spirits come together is that for this time, at this point in time, we are assisting them, and they are moving through the process of merging these two spirits through their purification. So they've effectively had to purify the karma of two beings through their incarnation, and so they are when that purification takes place, the merging of these two consciousnesses into one big energetic signature of a creator being can be here. And these are the energies that will be effectively leading the new structures and the new frameworks to the new earth. And so they are extremely important individuals, and they are holding information, and their divine counterparts are holding information that has been suppressed, repressed, hidden, cloaked, invisibilized, and lost from the awareness because it hasn't been safe to unlock those aspects until this point in time, and also that their purified expression of these divine unions come in, create an even bigger consciousness that is then brought into the earth and assists the entire collective. And so it is not that these beings are better or more superior. It's that if you imagine a purified consciousness of wisdom, of codes, of remembrance, of seeing that gets bigger and bigger in an autonomous expression to autonomous, and then they come together in union, that is a large pocket of the law of one and the divine teachings of God Source Creator on the earth that are not just energetically gifted out, but then spoken and gifted out through different modalities and different things that are coming through. And so this unlocking and the realization of these 12 men that are moving through extreme transformation, very rapid, very different to what their women has moved through. So their women are 144, they are not 199, and so they are less evolved in consciousness than these men, and that is a part of the male-female dynamic. They are equal, but the woman is to gift their conduit abilities, their oracle, and their intuitive guidance as a way for this man to lead and to confirm information, and that is what we will see in all layers of consciousness of men and women coming together to use their abilities for the future, rather than comparing and judging and trying to be the same, and all of the confusion that's come from that. But these men are going through the next 4 days of different merging processes. So some of these men have had two spirits that they've purified, and with the earth and the collective and what you're doing and what I'm doing and this holding, their spirits will merge, and it will be basically a process of coming together and no longer having a separation or a split point within their brain, their consciousness and their expression, so that they can live from that one lens of totality in their service. Some of them have had two spirits, one spirit's not choosing purification. So if we look at this in relationships, sometimes you have one person that's choosing to do the work and to evolve and to clear and to purify, and then you have another person in the relationship that's just not doing the work, doesn't want to, and there's an incongruency that happens, and eventually there's a stepping out of the relationship. So this is the same as in there is a stepping out of that consciousness that's not choosing. And so that, because these individuals have a 199 strand vessel, their vessel is like gold to this reality. Their vessel is so incredibly important to the divine mission that anyone who's not choosing, that's in a 199 body, it's like, okay, you're out. That's kind of how it is. So what is taking place is that their descended consciousness, you could say, that's wanting to destroy and control and stay in the patriarchal energies and not look at their past fuckery. Not allowed to say that word anymore. But I keep trying. It's just a little bit of resistance I still have. So if they are in that descended consciousness, which is basically a demonic consciousness of some form, a patriarchal construct, and whatever technologies these divine demiurge, I won't even use the word divine, the demiurge that were the creators of this universe, have the AI, the holograms, the infiltration, the information. They have created technology that is infiltrated into every single one of us. And so these consciousness constructs, and we've got, like, say, amnesia consciousness, we have the covert and then I'm trying to think of all the things that we've been unrailing. So much information comes through all the time that it's like, so there was the amnesia consciousness. There is these constructs of like a false light representation of transparency, so you can't even see your shadow consciousness, so you can't purify. There is consciousness that has been created to basically use your abilities, and different, like, headpieces of wiring made out of different elements of energetic signature that move through, and they all manipulate our ability to remember, see, become, and be the full authentic self. Now, the galactic trials have been this. They have been the recognizing of these mutation consciousness. We're going through the dark feminine at the moment, so the dark feminine are being witnessed, and the dark feminine are the feeders. So they are stealing and creating technologies that go into your field, and this is why most of us have been broke. Women, I will say specifically, but the women of the 144 have had all of their abundance, prosperity, and opulence codings stolen through different devices and technologies that you don't even recognize that you have in your being, and you're like, I don't understand why I still don't have abundance in my experience. I'm doing everything that I'm being guided to do, right? So this is all a part of the divine plan. It also allows for the woman like myself that are extremely masculine, have been extremely dominant in my masculine, to surrender into my feminine. It's been forced surrender when you're in those spaces, so that you can also ask and receive from these men energies. So many different layers I can see, and I'm like, okay, I've got 15 minutes, let's get it all out. So what's happening is these specific men are going through this awareness of, if their descended consciousness doesn't want to take ownership for their mutation of the collective consciousness and the collective light body, and they don't want to take accountability and move through whatever guilt, shame, purging, and releasing and accountability that is required in self-forgiveness to witness what they have partaken in this human experience, then their consciousness is just going to keep descending into this level of the depths of of hell, and it's being witnessed by those that are remembering, and there is the divine justice that's taking place. And so that descended consciousness out of the 199 vessel is being ejected in the next 4 days, if this is and so there's only 12 of these men on the earth, okay, so just being really clear. They are extreme, like, magic, and so that would mean that they have one of their consciousnesses that is purifying. So that's where you get the extreme light and dark, because they've got these conflicting, like, Jekyll and Hyde energies. And then for the ones that are releasing their descended consciousness and they're keeping one consciousness, they will be either integrating the information that had been moving through the vessel, that was that descended consciousness, and alchemizing it so that they can expand their one consciousness into the 199, or what is taking place in relation to, say, my divine counterpart. And I can't believe I'm actually speaking this out in a public forum, because there's so much of my brain that's like, my human wants to be like, what if it doesn't happen? But I can't even say it. It doesn't even let me. So with the preparations that I've been going through and supporting my divine counterpart, both of his consciousnesses weren't choosing. One was choosing to go back to Sirius and to be a guardian of the Syrian library, and that would be otherwise known in this reality as the Enki consciousness. So Enki no longer is on the physical plane of Earth, and he has returned back to Sirius. And the other one was a consciousness of an architect of the Syrian expression as well. So those two energies did have an opportunity to purify and merge and become one. They did not, and this is where human choice comes in. You are a sovereign being, you're a sovereign will. This human being did not choose to do the work to purify those two consciousnesses with multiple opportunities and multiple signs of stepping into the cosmic mission, and the human overrided it. And so what happened was they went through the ejection, and now there's an energy that's stepping in and merging with the vessel. And so how you can make a little bit more sense of this is how I've been talking about my vessel. My vessel has its own consciousness. So my vessel has its own previous, if I was to step out, if my consciousness was like, yeah, okay, I'm done, but this vessel's pretty important to the consciousness, so I'm going to have to call in some more higher evolved ascended essence to come into my being, that I know how important my vessel is to the human race, that it would absolutely be not of the highest good for me to leave this planet. But the choice would be that because my vessel has been genetically modified so many times, it holds very high receptivity, transmutation abilities, the ability to assist in so many ways that are absolutely profound to the human mind to even make sense of, that her capacity, being that of my vessel, is a vital piece of machinery for this divine plan, that I would it would just be a swap over of beings. And this is what happened in ancient Egypt, right? So if you've heard my remembrance story around being the incarnation of the goddess Isis, the goddess Isis lived for 1,002 years, right? So 1,002 years. And she did that because she had mastered the ability of having her consciousness leave one vessel and then stepping into another. So doing a body swap. She body swapped 3 times. And that was because her consciousness was important. And at that point in time, the vessels that were holding the consciousness of the demiurge or these higher evolved beings were genetically modified made avatars in cloning. So Anubis, for instance, Anubis was the god of the underworld, but not the way that you think. He actually was the God that would transition the beings from the higher evolved expressions coming down the birthing portal into the realm of what you could say the inner earth, to experimental labs where the vessels or the avatars were being created for the demiurge to come and experience life, which is why they're depicted as big, why they're depicted as interesting expressions of consciousness, because their avatar was made with genetic modifications of reptilians, of seraphim expressions, of all different kinds of organic matter in a 5D vessel, so that they could be here on the earth, and they could not incarnate into a human body. What we are doing now is we are incarnating into human bodies, and then we're going through the cloning or the genetic modifications to move the human body into a 5D organic structure. For many of you, if you go into this level of remembrance, the amount of experiments and the changes that have been made to your vessel so that your vessel can support your consciousness is a little bit scary. My specific remembrance of that has been challenging, because it was done by me, because one of the other consciousnesses that I hold is Ninasag, and Ninasag was one of the creators of the original seeding of Adam and Lilith, not Eve. Eve was a genetic modification of a dumbed down human being. So that's a nice little piece to add in relation to the story of the Bible, and how that means of Eve was made from Adam's rib. Yes, she was made from the prototype of Adam, which was a vessel, a 5-dimensional vessel, and Lil took that program, that codex and that template, and actually mutated it and dumbed it down and made the 3-dimensional expression, which was Eve. Okay, so we have 9 minutes. In relation to this, what is happening as these men either have their walk-ins come in, their merging of consciousness, or they have one step out and they just have the purification and the integration, these 4 days of their transformation is actually allowing for energy, frequencies, signatures, and aspects of their molecular structure, so the 199, to activate within the earth. So the earth's grids that have been deactivated because we haven't been at a high enough consciousness is allowing for different things within the earth structure to activate, because these 199 men are remembering and reclaiming who they are. So this is so exciting, because when Thoth came into his physical body last night and he was coded in, what happened was, and if you have the ability, go have a look in the Earth's grid at the new grid that has activated, which allows for the chakras to move through the Earth in a more easeful and aligned way. And so each one of these men connecting, and each one of the women, and all of you that are doing this work and that are looking at your own vessel being a representation of the earth, is allowing each one of us that choose ourselves, each one of us that chooses to merge more and more to our authentic self, to allow the division between spirit and matter, because that's what it is, it's the bandwidth between spirit and matter. The less that is, the more opportunity that the earth has to transition with ease and grace. And so these specific individuals are doing that, and they hold amazing vessels with amazing consciousness, and it will be very exciting and interesting to see what activates as each one goes through their activation process. I'm just going to ask how many others have done it. So there's 2 others around the world that I do not consciously know of, that I have not consciously connected with, that have already merged and are in the process of solidifying their 199 consciousness into this reality, including the transition from Thoth into the new physical organic matter, yet it is not active. So his consciousness is here, but it's not activated within the physical body. That is going to be taking place in the next few hours. And then these other men are going to be going through this process of purification and merging over the next 4 days. And so that is the importance, because they are the true kings and queens of our reality. They hold the pure bloodline, they hold the law of one, they hold the information of the original divine templates of the human beings, of the psyche. They hold information on techniques of ascended mastery. They hold information and structures and frameworks of how to build new businesses, governments. These specific individuals, and it is, I need to be very true and real in the reality, it's going to take 5 or 10 years for this to actually manifest in the physical, because these individuals are only really remembering who they are. I've been in the remembrance of who I am for quite a few years, in the extent of who I am to why I'm here, and not been seen in that until now, because it hasn't been ready, and I decided it was a great idea to go first. But I have been told for the next 5 to 10 years that I am basically sitting, supporting, waiting. And that is my role, is to share this information and wait for everyone to activate, remember, integrate, solidify this pillar of their own knowing, so that we can start to bring this in. So it is not going to happen overnight. The next 3 months is going to be chaotic. It is going to be transformative. It is going to be beautiful. But it is going to be all the things as we transition this consciousness. And the main point of this was that these 12 men, that they go through this merging, solidifying of their consciousness into their vessel. It allows for, in that prophetic vision where it said there was a dual reality of 2D and 5D, actually for that 2D consciousness to not be anchored in as a timeline. So it means that we as a whole will go into the 5th dimensional consciousness of the earth. Now for me, that's like high five, yes, fuck yeah, I'm here for this. So in all of that, I'm going to leave it here. I have a client. I love you, I love you, I love you. Please comment any questions. Make sure you share this if you've received activations, awareness. Reach out to me. If you are one of the 12 that I'm yet to locate, and you know that you're one of the 12, please let me know, because of the 12 men, or if you know through some insight, through something, that you know one of these 12 men, or one of the 24 women. So each man has 2 queens. I know it's not polyamory, just to be clear. Divine union, there is none. It is divine union is divine union. And we can try and mutate that as much as we like. But if you do know any of the 12 men or the 24 women, these are my priority. They are who I am directed to speak to. They are the ones that I am in direct training with, that I am guided as the few, which is why I've spoken to this so many times. I'm not here for everyone. I'm here for the betterment of all. I put my energy into that, because that then ripples off into all of their lineage and their bloodline. And it's a beautiful gift. So I do have an awareness of these beings, but there are some missing ones, and I would like them to make themselves known. With that, I love you. If you feel you are aligned to donating to support my mission, please do so. I will make sure there's links put in the description box. And yeah, Ahava, I love you.